Two new sedans from Hyundai, your questions about fuel economy, and buying sedans for sons. Next on Talking Cars. Hi, and welcome to Talking Cars with Consumer Reports. I'm Tom Mutchler.
I'm John Lincove.
I'm Mike Quincy.
Hey, Mike, welcome to the Talking Cars podcast Thunderdome.
It's great to be here.
Glad to have you with us. We're going to start out this episode with a question. From Takacho772, I thought Consumer Reports was supposed to be fair and balanced. See, we're getting things off to an easy start. But maybe I'm wrong. They don't ever mention Hyundai anymore, or at least try to avoid it, just like how they don't mention about 2015 Sonata, yet mention both Camry and Legacy. It's like Hyundai's become this elephant in the room that Consumer Reports tries to ignore. John, the gig's up. The gig's up. Yeah, we got to talk about Hyundai.
Who? But Hyundai is one of those car companies that I love to talk about because they've always got something interesting going. And every year, when you look back in time, they keep getting better and better, certainly in our tests.
Well, they do. I mean, and we bought two new Hyundais. Behind us is the 2015 Hyundai Genesis. We also bought a new 2015 Hyundai Sonata. We got one of the very first ones to come out from the dealer. We'd have it parked behind us, but it's back at the dealer. The car's already been brought back because of a problem for the steering and a problem for the brakes.
Yeah,
they're having a couple early build problems. But first, let's talk about the Genesis. What do you think of the Genesis, Mike?
I have always loved the Genesis. I think the Genesis is one of those cars that is
Even back with Peter Gabriel.
The Genesis.
Someone had to do that pun.
The Lamb
I'm
Lies
sorry.
Down on Broadway.
I'm sorry.
Okay. The Genesis to me has always represented a car that for the person who doesn't have a lot of money but wants to step up their sort of luxury car experience. So much value going in. The interior is beautiful. They've always been nice to drive. They're comfortable. They're quiet. And this latest one is even better. I'm really impressed by it.
It's not cheap anymore. The car we have is almost $53,000.
That's a very fair point. They aren't the steel that they used to be. But it is still very elegant. And when you drive a Genesis, if you have someone as a passenger, they'll invariably say, "This is a Hyundai?"
Yeah. What'd you think, John?
So they're gone the Lexus route. The first LSs that came out, really affordable in the $30-something thousand range to think back, and now you're
$35,000 in
right,
1990.
Right. And now you're talking $100,000 cars. So when this was in the 30s to 40s, it was a steal. Now at 50,000, it seems to be their niche is going to be that they're going to be not German. They're going to be Buicky. Very comfortable, very quiet. It's not the same four-door performance car that the last one really felt like. This one, I still felt the rear suspension is a little unsettled at times.
To me, I thought this was actually one of the better riding Hyundais in recent memory. Maybe it's not 100% sorted out, but I do think it rides better. Even though $53,000, look, you're trying to compete with an A6, you're trying to compete with a Lexus GS.
Yep.
Our car has all the electronic safety gizmos, all the features. It's probably $10,000 less than those cars.
Certainly, and it has usable features. That knob infotainment system is far easier to master just jumping in it than any other system out there. So definitely, I find it a little softer than the competitors, and that's where they want to be.
It's less exciting.
Yeah, it's not as exciting. It's where it wants to be, and it's
hush,
very
I think
hush.
there is a market for that.
Right.
I don't think everyone needs a sports sedan.
You buy a Genesis, even a base Genesis, you're going to have tons and tons of stuff in there that most of the German manufacturers would make you pay more for.
Yeah, now, it's easy to question the Genesis's value, but the Sonata, we have a Sonata SE, the base four-cylinder, just with some comfort and convenient package. It's $23,300. It's a really well-done car for that money. What do you think?
Great fuel economy.
Were you getting good mileage out of it?
Well, I don't know what exactly we're coming in so far that we've got on the trip computer. Why? Because it's at the dealer right now. But one of the things that Jake Fisher has said often in the past about Hyundais in particular is you're getting great fuel economy. There's no turbo, there's no hybrid, there's no diesel. It's just a really good, efficient four-cylinder engine.
But see, I'm not sure that applies anymore because it used to be the Sonata did get great fuel economy, but now you had the Altima leapfrog it. You had the Accord out of CVT. They've stuck with 6-speed automatics because Hyundai figures drivers don't like CVTs, and maybe they have a point.
CVTs we've seen, I haven't been as much of a detractor in CVTs simply because we've spent so many years with small engines and 4-speed automatics that would rev up. So, CVTs, they're a tad annoying at times, but the well-done ones, they could be fine. Accord, for example, we all think is good. Anything that has a step to it is going to be much more palatable than something that just revs up high. This is a blandish car. It's a little.
But it's practical.
It's totally practical.
but
it's pulled back from that very aggressive styling.
Yeah,
Yes.
the previous generation car put Hyundai on the map. They sold a ton of those things because it looked so damn good.
Right.
They've backed off on the styling.
Just when everyone else is going to it. 200, and then you saw the Fusion and such like that. So
Yeah.
there's more of an ovoid styling going.
But to be fair, you can see out of the Sonata a lot
Yep.
better. You can get in and out of it better. The
Better
controls
headroom.
are almost as easier as far. The car also feels more solid. I mean, the last Sonata, a lot of road noise, felt a little.
Tinny when you close the doors.
Exactly. This car feels a whole lot more solid.
Sure.
So we'll see how it does.
Yeah, I'd like to get more miles in it when it comes back, and hopefully it comes back for good. They
let's
ironed out those early launch. It's
Well,
a problem with early
all we have
launch.
to do is criticize something, and Hyundai will change it in 6 months anyway.
Probably
we'll have to
yeah,
retest it.
not
so
6
that-
months, 2 weeks. Talking about fuel economy, we got a bunch of questions about fuel economy. Hal Levinson asked, when cars are evaluated for fuel economy, does CR use any eco modes that the car might have? I've tried it on my Prius recently and have gotten about 2 miles per gallon more in an average tank, I think. Now, being the resident engineer here, I'll answer the question. We'll talk a little bit more about it. We test cars in their normal mode. Whatever it's shipped from the dealer, when you restart the car, what does it revert back to? Keep in mind, we want to test the fuel economy of the car, not of the driver. What an eco mode does is it changes the way you drive. Basically, it's going to make you drive slower. It's going to make you accelerate slower because it's backing off on throttle mapping. It's going into higher gears. It might save a touch fuel economy. Sometimes they play with air conditioning, but that's really rare. Eco modes change you. They don't change the car itself. What do you think of eco modes?
I think they're boring. I mean, I almost always turn them off. The recent BMWs that we had that had a sport button, I turn it on as soon as I turn the car on.
Yep.
The Mini Coopers we have, the sport, I immediately put it on.
Yeah, BMW likes to go to eco.
But I'm wondering, when they're doing the EPA testing, do the manufacturers put it in eco mode?
No, well, there's the trick. That's what it does. Again, they're following pretty similar rules to us. When you start the car, where does it start?
It defaults in that.
Because a Jeep Grand Cherokee, either the diesel or the gas, you turn it on, eco mode.
Frustrating
I
as heck.
shut it off because I hate it.
Right.
Turn on the car again, eco mode.
Yep.
I paid 45 grand of this. I want the thing to stay off when I turn it off.
I flip in and out depending on my drives. Driving to Yonkers, or 2 hours.
But you don't want to get there
sometimes.
quickly.
No. I throw out the anchor and stuff.
Don't need to get to headquarters anytime soon.
I play with the modes to see what it's like, but inevitably it's that the pedal feels, you have to push through to do any acceleration. You have to push through to do any passing, merging. It may make you drive gentler. It may feed in the arguments of, if you drive the car better, you'll get better mileage.
Well, there we go. There you go. We've got a bunch of arguments here, kind of along the theme of blame the dumb American. From Dave Houston. Automakers need to downward revise fuel economy numbers because in real life, Americans drive like idiots and not in a fuel-efficient manner. And I'm not talking about hypermiling. And from Janji Goodwin. Americans are too much addicted to Japanese cars' style of driving. That's why they aren't getting better fuel economy with turbo engines and hybrid engines developed outside of USA. Dude.
Japanese car style of
And they're not just
driving.
talking about Massachusetts drivers, right?
Yeah,
No,
a special type of
I'm
driver.
hoping they're a unique breed.
Look, there's plenty of articles online from the Telegraph, from European Green Car, about Europeans not meeting mileage specs from the manufacturer specs in real world. So it's not just an American phenomenon. At the end of the day, you could drive anything gentle, and you could drive anything hard. You can flog a smart car and not get the mileage. You could drive a pickup truck really easily. Yeah, I'm driving a Suburban right now, and I could get 22, 23 indicated,
How fast are you going? 42
65, no,
miles?
65, I'm keeping the speed
Downhill?
limit. No, on the flat, but you just judicious use of the throttle, you're in V4 mode,
Sure,
that's
how
what
many
it's
people- how many
indicating.
people are gonna do that?
Yeah,
Are you
but
gonna
that's
do
the
that?
thing, that's the thing. If you're not in the right lane, you're impediment to most traffic.
Yep.
On one-lane roads, you're blocking everybody up. If you have any hills, you're not going to get into that. So it's so many factors,
And
not just Americans.
on the other hand, it's kind of fun to take a Prius and always running at the red line. Yeah.
You're a twisted guy.
Evil.
That's how most
That's
Priuses
how
are
you-
driven, it
that's how
seems,
you-
in the left
yeah,
lane
Prius
at,
is
you know,
pretty much a-
85.
Oh, I'm driving
blinking
the
me.
green car. Let's rev the crap out of the engine all the time. Ah!
Exactly.
Oh, Mike, why are you so bad? Again, the way we test things, we take all these variables out of it. You have to, our city course, you have to be at a certain speed. You have to get to a certain place at a certain time. It is keeping up with traffic. It is not having the variables of, oh, I can loaf along. I can piss off everyone in the long line behind me in my Prius, which is not being driven by Mike Quincy. Okay, we have another question that kind of falls into the category of doing things right. From M. Anthony 225. Question, I've read that Ford's automated manual transmission has to be driven differently than a regular automatic. Will you explain the technique required? Thanks. I believe it's shifter, drive,
D.
go.
Yeah, it's pretty much put your foot down. Light throttle, it's a little bulky, balks a bit, a little stuttery.
Do you know what he's getting at?
Well, no.
I think I do. I think I do. It's been a popular meme on some car forums that, again, it falls into the Americans don't understand. Europeans accept dual clutch transmissions more than Americans. Europeans typically drive manual transmissions. For them not to have to shift, wow, it's like Christmas every day.
It's like they've never heard of an automatic.
But they don't, but fuel economy and you're taxed on larger displacement engines that don't work well with automatics. So yeah, I mean, if you're used to driving a stick and you go to this and it's a little jerky around town, hey, okay, fine, I'm used to that,
Sigh.
Yeah, I mean, you can drive a stick pretty smoothly around town. It's one of the things that we've
I
seen with
sure
a lot
can.
of dual clutch transmissions. You see it with VW. You've seen it, unfortunately, with the Fiat 500L. You see it with the Ford PowerShift. All the manufacturers have talked about software updates and such. Again, it's not American. It's probably small displacement engines, the type of start-stop, European,
Yeah.
a little more highway, a little slower speeds around congested cities versus American rural roads.
And some of
It's-
these dual clutches are better than others.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt, no doubt.
The VW one's gotten better, and it's better with gas than diesel.
No doubt. Moving on to more happy questions. We got two questions of people who want to buy cars for their sons, which I think is a very nice thing.
Very
nice thing
noble.
to do. I got an answering machine. I did not get a car.
No, I got college bills, I think.
So here we go from ML. Okay, I have a brain twister for you, Tom. Thank you. Thanks for that.
We'll go now. See ya.
So I have $9,000 for my son. I want to buy him a nice luxury sedan or SUV from either Japan or Europe, plus Volvo, which is part of Europe. It's China.
They know your history with Volvo.
Yeah.
A lot of. I would love to hear what you guys think. What do you think? $9,000 luxury sedan for their son. What do you go with?
This is a teenage driver, you think?
I don't know. I'm assuming so.
$9,000 luxury. Gosh, you're really gonna.
I have an easy answer, but
Well, I mean, maybe an old Lexus ES. Is that luxurious enough, or and is that
it's
even going to fit in?
soul-sucking.
Well, yeah, but if you're a teenager, are you craving a luxury car?
Or
Really?
a Volvo.
what do you think?
Infiniti G35, 2006.
That's a drift. Did you do research?
No.
And we talked about Tom's old Volvos, Tom's old G20.
No, those days are long gone. Actually, you know what? You raise a good point, but it's the modern successor to my Infiniti G20. It's the Acura TSX.
That's
That
a good
car
one.
fit, that
but can
car
you get
fit.
one for $9,000?
Yes. Yeah, you're going to be around.
Wait, did you do research?
I always do research.
Oh,
Why
fair
do you
enough.
think I have the iPad?
that's
Why
right.
do you think I don't allow you guys to have iPads?
True.
I mean, you'd be.
So it's just because I was an editorial, but that's all right.
No, I mean, I think Acura TSX.
It's a good one. I mean, some of the research I've seen, you're getting cars 2006, 2008. You're getting 6 to 8 year old vehicles.
But I mean,
or so.
$9,000 bucks. What are you going to do?
Well, no, exactly. So I'm saying that's what you're looking for at luxury. You can get something that's not luxury. You could get a CRV if you want an SUV. You could get a newer Civic. You can get an Altima. You can get some much more modern. Hey, you know what? It just depends. Do you want a 8-year-old German European car for your son to have to be stranded with?
No.
And then you have to take him everywhere? Or do you want something that at least you're going to...
The parents are going to have to moonlight to pay those repair bills.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So it's $9,000. You can get these cars. Maybe a little more information.
I do think, though, if you like BMWs, that does buy you a rather nice 3 Series, like an 05 3
Yeah.
Series. You're going to have to fix it, but it's got all the modern safety stuff.
So an early XC90, you could get one
Oh,
of
no,
those.
you don't. No. Do not get that.
SUV
do not listen
and
to
Volvo.
John. Do not listen to John from Carol Cobb. We recently bought a 2008 Infiniti M35 for her son's 18th birthday, which is a hell of a lot better than an answering machine.
I want them to adopt me.
An M35 is one of my favorite cars that we've had.
God, that's wonderful.
And graduation present with 95,000 miles on it. Although it's a wonderful car, I wonder if you can get that for $9,000.
Yeah. Put these
That wasn't
podcast people
there.
together.
No, actually, they might be selling, so we'll
The match
explain.
game.
He says he'd like to trade it in for something more fuel efficient because 18 miles per gallon on premium gas is no fun. Sounds like 18 miles per gallon on premium gas is a whole lot of fun. A large problem with car shopping with him is that he's 6'4", doesn't fit into a lot of cars. He wants something fuel efficient, reliable, big enough for him, and not super expensive on repairs, but still fun to drive and maintain an upscale feel. He wants, currently we are considering a Volkswagen Passat, Accord, Lexus ES, or CT. Any input, it's appreciated.
The Honda Accord has always been one of our cars for tall drivers.
Yep.
no
Accord-
CT,
always.
no Lexus CT. Even if he was short,
There is nothing.
there's no reason to buy a
No,
Lexus
it's
CT.
the Lexus CT is a sad car.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. The Accord has always had a very accommodating driving position, great seats. Get one of the higher level ones. Get an
Yep.
EX with leather interior.
Supportive, yep. Passat's roomy. Passat's definitely
Passat's
a roomy.
real
cool.
roomy.
Yep. Supportive seats. That's fine. It's not buying it for driving experience, so that's great.
No, I think he had the word reliable though. I mean,
I was gonna say repair bills?
It's been okay.
It's okay,
But
it's okay.
like we talked about in an earlier episode, it's not.
Well, but the Honda, you get up into one of the EXLs, you start getting into that infotainment system, which is going to be maddening.
No. Get a used one.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
we're
okay, there we
talking
go.
used.
3 or 4 years old.
There we go.
Yeah, that's going to definitely be your pick. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of Talking Cars. A little bit of news for you. We're trying to take this thing weekly. We're going to see how that goes. We're going to see if our film crew of Tracy and Dave, if it drives them to utter insanity.
Or more insanity.
Yeah, actually, even further beyond, deeper into insanity than they already are. So, as always, we thank you for listening. Keep the questions coming. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.